All right, time to talk about the best albums of 2023. This list was fairly easy to put together compared to the last previous years. I don't know, I feel like this year there wasn't really a lot of good albums. Most of the albums that dropped were okay at best or forgettable. Uh, and so this list was fairly easy because the albums that have on this list are albums that stood out, you know what I'm saying? And I want to say it was easy to make. The only problem I had was with the last three albums. I feel like those three albums were uh, a bit difficult to place them, but we'll get into those albums later in the video. But yeah, once again, this is my opinion. If you guys disagree, then drop your own list in the comments section down below. Let me know your top 10 best albums of the year. Before I get into the top 10 best albums of the year, I do want to give some honorable mentions to these five albums. I guess these would be, I guess, number 15 through 11. Um, but I'm just going to go ahead and name them real quick just so I don't make this video too long. Number 15, I guess, is Battery Operated Sims by Chris Crack. Uh, this is the better album that he dropped this year. Chris Crack is probably, honestly, my favorite underrated rapper. He's so unique, you know. His lyrics are sometimes funny. His song titles are something else. This project is very, very short. It's probably the shortest one on this whole entire list. It's only 17 minutes. If you guys have 17 minutes to spare, go ahead and check out this project. You won't be disappointed. Number 14 is Red Moon in Venus by Caliuchis. Um, I mean, Caliuchis can do no wrong. This album is full of bangers. Like, a lot of bangers are on here. Songs like Moral Conscience, Moonlight, Fantasy, I Wish You Roses, Worth the Wait. A lot of good bangers, honestly. One of my favorite R&B albums of the year. Speaking of R&B albums, number 13 is Since I Have a Lover, which I have right here on vinyl. I need to get the CD, but here it is. Since I Have a Lover, this is a good album. I saw Black this year in concert, and I had a great time. Love the album cover. If I were to make a best album covers of the year, this would have easily been on the list. Although this is probably my least favorite Black album, I still enjoyed it for what we got. It's been a while since he dropped. Since 2018, or I guess he dropped in 2020 his little EP, but that really isn't an album. So it's been a while since he dropped. Some of my favorite songs on here is Inwood Hill Park, Night Ride Home, Since I Have a Lover, Chasing Feeling, and Temporary. Those are my probably my top five favorite songs on this. Number 12 is Amen, The No Man's Dream by Berhana. Another short project, highly recommend it. Berhana is very, very underrated. Some of my favorite songs on here are Break Bread, Going Home, Gone, Wow, and Don't Go. I don't know. I feel like this album deserves more praise, honestly. I don't know. I do like that he tried something new compared to his previous album, although I do like his debut album more. This was still pretty fun, and I'm excited to see where he goes from here, honestly. He is very, very talented, so go ahead and check him out. Number 11 is I Thought I'd Be Different by Rory. Rory put a fantastic album together. All these features that he picked out um, did their thing, honestly. There's only a couple of misses, like two or three, but the entire album is very consistent and it definitely has a tone to it that I like and I enjoyed. It didn't quite make the top 10, but it's definitely close. You know, it's close. Some of my favorite songs on here are Enough, Don't Go, My Phone Can Die, Surrender, and Gold Link's Interlude. Um, yeah, highly recommend this one. Not a lot of people have talked about this project, so go ahead and check it out. You won't be disappointed. All right, now we're getting into the top 10 best albums of the year. These are my favorite albums of the year. Number 10 is Don Toliver, Lovesick. This album dropped like earlier in the year. I want to say like February, I believe. Since then, it's been on repeat. He has some of his best songs on this project. Although it's not his best album, it's definitely his second best. I like this more than Heaven or Hell. Um, but I like Life of a Don more than Love Sick, which we don't have a vinyl of. So hopefully Don Toliver drops that vinyl because I need that on vinyl. I was actually expecting this to be more of a slower album, like more of a R&B album. It's not exactly what we got, but I still enjoyed it for what it was. I still want a R&B project from Don Toliver. I know he could put out a great R&B project. Don Toliver continues to improve with each project, honestly. Some of my favorite songs off this album are Encouragement, Leather Coat, Honeymoon, Slow Motion, and Company Part 3. But again, there's a lot of good songs on this project. The one with Justin Bieber and Future is also good. Plus, the deluxe was actually pretty good. Embarrassed, No Pool, the one with Tizo Touchdown. I'm freaking out on the name right now. That one's also pretty good. Number nine. This might shock a lot of you guys, but it's Business is Business by Young Thug. I know a lot of people didn't really like this one. Some were saying that Gunna put out a better album than Young Thug. I think this one's the better album because Gunna's album was repetitive. Uh, Most of the tracks on there sounded the same. Even though I did enjoy it, there was just songs that sounded the same. Well, this one, it was just another Young Thug album. Although he didn't really do anything different, I still enjoyed it. It's not his best album, it's not his worst album. It was still pretty good and enjoyable. I found myself liking a lot of these songs, especially revisiting the album. I was like, yo, this is very overhated. Honestly, it's overhated, and I was surprised that this made it in my top 10 list. Like, kind of didn't want it to put this album on my list, but I couldn't lie to myself, so I had to put this album on the list. And Free Young Doug. Number 8 is A Brief Nirvana by Kamari. This album I actually found out. I found out by playing. I think I played um, Doctor My Eyes first, and then I enjoyed that song, and I saw that he had a whole album, and so I played it and found myself really enjoying this project. I've never heard of Kamari until now, and I'll definitely be keeping an eye on him because this project really, I want to say, surprised me. I guess almost all the songs on here I liked. The only song I didn't really enjoy was the last track on the album. But besides that, every single song I enjoyed, and if he ever puts out a vinyl for it, I would definitely copy. I feel like this album would sound amazing on vinyl. Some of my favorite songs on here are Right My Wrongs, Doctor My Eyes, Wax Poetic, Tell Me, and Drifting. Yeah, so if you guys like Giveon and Down Caesar, then you would definitely like this album. Highly recommend it. Once again, A Brief Nirvana by Kamari. Number 7 is Masego, his self titled album. I think this is his debut project. When the album came out, I wasn't a huge fan of it. I mean, I still enjoyed it, but I was expecting a bit more. But once I got into it and played it throughout the summer, I feel like this album was probably one of the best summer projects. This project is definitely an album that you listen to during the summertime and springtime. It's such an enjoyable album. A lot of good songs on here. You Never Visit Me, um, Gemini. Sorry, I'm looking up the track list because I forgot. Black Anime is good. What You Wanna Try? I feel like that one's probably my favorite song off the album. Say You Want Me is also pretty good. In Style, Eternal Sunshine. That one's also pretty good. Love this album, and I need to get this on vinyl because this is another album that I'm pretty sure would sound amazing on vinyl. So yeah, I need to get that on vinyl. But yeah, that's number 7. Number 6 is New Moon by They. This one kind of surprised me of how good this album was. I always enjoyed Day. I'm surprised they haven't blown up yet, but this one in particular, I feel like this one's their best album. Wait on Me, 21 is another catchy song. Lonely, Blue Moon, Moonlight, Brutally Honest, um, Set Me Free. A lot of good songs. In the Mood. A lot of bangers are on here. I definitely need this on vinyl as well. Highly recommend checking out New Moon by They. Very underrated duo. Now we're getting into the top five best albums of the year. Coming in at number five is Forward by Jordan Ward. This project has been getting a couple of recognitions because when this album came out, I didn't really see a lot of people talking about this. Um, I enjoyed it. I actually discovered Jordan Ward back in when did the album come out? I discovered him by that one song, Straightforward, by that one album, Minus the Bullshit. That's how I discovered him. And since then, I've always kept my eye on him. I saw that he was coming out with a new album, and once that dropped, I had high hopes for it, and it did not disappoint. A lot of good chill songs are on here. Bust Down, Fam Jam, 4000. Um, let's see, 0495, Forward, uh, Cherimoya. I know that one's a bonus song, but it's still good. It's still good. Uh, I also like White Crocs. I don't know why he put "I Don't Care" on this album if that's an old song. I feel like he could have easily left that one out. Still love the song, but it's old, you know. Um, Flight is also pretty good. Dance Machine. Oh my god, this album is amazing. If you guys haven't checked out Forward, highly recommend it. I need the vinyl and CD for this one for sure. But yeah, now we're down to the top four. Coming in at number four is an album that almost everybody was anticipating on and waiting. We waited 5 years for this project. A lot of people enjoyed it. A lot of people found it a bit disappointing. I enjoyed it, and this is Utopia. This is I believe, cover four. Um, love this album. I love this album. I saw Travis Scott perform this live back in November, and I enjoyed it even more. Some songs that didn't like, I found it enjoyable at the concert, like Sirens, God's Country, um, which those two songs are probably my least favorite songs off the album. I feel like he could have easily left those out, you know. This has my favorite song of the year, which is My Eyes. That song is just something else. I like that Travis Scott did something new. This sound isn't really mainstream like Astroworld, even though Travis Scott is a mainstream artist. The sound that he mostly did on this album is something that he hasn't done before, and is something that isn't really for mainstream audience. Um, I think this is one of his better albums. I actually enjoy this more than Astroworld and Birds in the Trap. It's actually between this one or Rodeo for my favorite albums of Travis Scott. I can't wait to see where he goes from here. I'm kind of honestly expecting a collab project, either with his Jack Boys label or with an artist. I don't know if he's gonna drop a solo project next year. I don't know. I don't think he should go another 5 years without dropping. I feel like he should drop at least next year or 2025. Hopefully a collab project next year, and then 2025 a solo album. That's how I would do it, honestly. But yeah, a lot of good songs, a lot of good bangers. Some of his best songs are on here for sure. Love this album, and I can't wait to see where Travis Scott goes from here. Honestly, we're down to the last three albums on here. These three were the toughest to place. Like these three have no skippable songs. While the other albums on this list have some songs that I could probably skip, songs that were okay. These next three albums I could easily play front to back without really skipping any of them. Since I had to do a top 10 list, I have to place these in order. And I guess this leads me to number three, Halo by Bakar. It's an album that you could just have on repeat. and not get bored of it, because a lot of these songs are just easy to listen to. And that's honestly what it is, you know what I'm saying? Albums are easy to listen to. I don't want no complex album that you have to break down or the bars and shit to really, really understand it. No, like the best albums, in my opinion, are the ones that you could just play and just enjoy without skipping no track. You just play from front to back, and albums that you could have on repeat and not get bored of. Albums that you could listen to a year, 2 years, 3 years from now and still enjoy it. Albums that age like fine wine, and I feel like this is an album that I could play 4, 5 years from now and still enjoy it. Like a lot of good songs are on this project. We got "I'm Done," we got "Hate the Sun," "To Open My Heart," "Facts," "Situations," "All Night," "Selling Biscuits," "One In, One Out." Bakar dropped another banger. I wasn't expecting him to drop, honestly, because I think he dropped last year, 2022, right? Or was it 2021? I don't know. I think he dropped last year. I wasn't expecting him to drop because his last album, Nobody's Home, was good, and I was sad for another year without Bakar. But no, he dropped again, and I wasn't disappointed. Like, this is a fun album. This is a good album that you should just have on. If you're going on a road trip, you put this on, you will have a good time. Honestly, it's a short project too, so listen to it. Highly recommend it. Bakar deserves more recognition for sure. Okay, coming in at number two is Sunburn by Dominic Fike. When this album came out, I'll be honest with you, I was expecting a lot more, but this is an album that grew on me. This is an album that grew on me. Don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed the album, but coming out of What Could Possibly Go Wrong, I had high hopes for Dominic Fike. Like, high hopes. He did not disappoint with this one. After a bunch of listens, this album really grew on me. Songs that I wasn't a huge fan of, I now like. Like, there isn't a bad song on here. I guess the only song that I could say is probably my least favorite song is the last track on here. I forgot the title. I forgot the title of the track. Let me see if I could pull it up here. What Kind of Woman? Yeah, What Kind of Woman? Uh, it's a song. I feel like Dark should have been the last song on the album, but still enjoyable. Saw him perform the majority of this project um, around it, like in April, and I loved it even more. And I'm glad I have it on vinyl now, and I have it on CD. Love this album, and yeah, I mean, I feel like Dominic Fike is just one of those artists that can never drop a bad album. And plus, there's a bunch of good songs on that project. Frisky, How Much Is Weed, Sick, Bodies, 7 Hours, 4x4, Think Fast, um, Pastor Child, Sunburn, Empire, Dancing in the Courthouse, Dark, Mama's Boy, the whole album, honestly. But yeah, I guess that leads me to number one, right? I'm pretty sure some of you guys might already guess what my number one is. I saw him in concert in September. He had the best album cover of the year as well. So, Never Enough by Daniel Caesar. I waited 4 years for this project, and he did not disappoint. Some of my favorite songs off this project have to be Disillusioned, Ocho Rios, Valentina, Toronto 2014, Let Me Go, which apparently was my most played song of the year, which honestly kind of surprised me because I thought Disillusion was my most played. I guess it's because Let Me Go dropped as a single, and I guess I played it a lot when the song came out. Always Cool. Oh my God. Cool is a song that you could just listen to staring at the sky at night. It's just song is different. Shoot My Baby, Pain is Inevitable, Unstoppable. Honestly, my opinion, this album is more of a spring type of album. It could also be played during the summer, but I say mostly spring. And I played the fuck out of this album when it dropped. Still play it till this day. And honestly, having this at my number one is I'm okay with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay with it. I'm not mad at it. It's the Battle Caesar was bound to have a album of the year, and I'm glad it's never enough. One of my favorite R&B albums of all time, honestly. But yeah, that is it for today, guys. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, comment down below your top 10 best albums of the year. And I guess I'll catch you guys next time. I do have my most anticipated albums of 2024 coming out soon. And hopefully, you guys have a happy new year. And I'll see you guys next year, I guess. Peace out.